are the origins of the prismatics?
I've always admired painters who designed their own frames, and I really wanted to try my own hand at it. So I think it was around 2012 when I started designing a frame that glows, which eventually led to the prismatics you're referring to.
Yes, but why light? How did light enter the frame?
I've always been drawn to store signs at night. There's something about the red glow, for instance, of a CVS sign that I've always found very alluring for some reason. And whenever I would stand under these channel letters, I would always try to figure out ways in which I could incorporate that light into my own work. And a glowing frame just seemed like the perfect fit. I mean, if a business uses that light to draw customers into the store, why not use that light to draw viewers into the painting?
Were you trying to break free from the frames tradition?
Yes and no. I mean, if you look at the earliest tabernacle frames, you'll find that they were originally gilded to cast light, both functionally and symbolically, into dark cathedrals. And when the candlelight reflected off the gilding, it was described as if a halo of light surrounded the artwork. So the glowing frames seemed, to me, both traditional and contemporary at the same time.
What was it like building the first prototype?
It was tough. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any tools. I had no space. I was making these things in the hallways and basement of my studio. And while I was using the Cassetta frame as the basis for my design, I still had no idea what it would actually look like when turned on. But I'm very glad I stuck with it, because when it was plugged in and I saw that light for the first time, I knew I had something special. I mean, the light created this visual fence around the work, which completely locked you into it. I then went on to fabricate glowing frames for many of my genre pieces that allowed me to experiment with different border colors and refine the overall design of the frame.
How then did you transition from the frame to the prismatic?
I realized that the light of the frame was affecting the colors of the painting. And it dawned on me that if I installed color-changing LEDs, I could then create paintings that deliberately interacted with the light.
Had you done abstractions before?
No,
Why not?
it just never felt natural to me. I dabbled in it, but it was always so forced. This was the first time where I really felt a genuine urge to explore non-representational imagery in a very specific way.
Well, they are very interesting compositions. How did you go about creating them?
I think a lot about the sequence, because as the LED lights within the frame change color, the painting shifts in pattern.
Yes, but only if looked at in the darkness, correct?
Yes, that aspect really appealed to me,
Why is that?
because it was a new way of looking at painting. The darkness eliminates all visual distractions. So all that's left is you and the prismatic, which completely engulfs you in its light. And it's an unusual experience because as you gaze into these, your eyes fully dilate and they begin to relax. And you're watching these patterns repeat over and over again, so that a visual trance begins to take over. It's almost as if the painting is breathing in front of you. And it's like the light is squeezing that color into vividness. It's something photography can't capture because the colors are just too subtle. A prismatic has to be experienced in person.
What reaction do you think they will have on viewers?
Hopefully a calming one. So much of my work, I feel, is very reactionary and intellectual. And it's always commenting on an issue that bothers me or trying to provoke people to think. Whereas these are meant to clear the mind. They're meant to almost be an aid to meditation.
Do you think people will respond to them?
I don't know. I know I would. If you think about it, most frames are meant to be invisible. They're meant to enhance the painting, but at the same time go unnoticed. They're meant to be in the background. This is the first time where the painting is dependent on the frame. Like, the frame is no longer secondary to the painting. Frame and painting are now one. And I think that's an idea worth exploring.